Hey, what's up, Teambackpack? There was a time when people could say talent sold records. Now artists and media use controversy, gimmicks, basically anything to get people's attention. Is this affecting hip-hop as a respectable art form? Let's discuss the balance of talent and sensationalism in hip-hop in this week's episode of Off the Record.
You know, my personal opinion is that, you know, you can call them gimmicks or what have you. You do need something to allow you to stand out. And I think people that use gimmicks, if you want to call them a gimmick, I think gimmicks are short-lived. Like, if you use a gimmick, you stand out, and if you don't have the talent to back it up, then you go. So if you use a gimmick, I believe that you still have to have the talent to support it, and that would give you a long-term career. I mean, obviously, I represent Hobson, Swizz. They use contacts to stand out. You can say it's a gimmick, but it's worked because they have the talent to support it. So, you know, good and bad is relative. You can say they have good music, or they can say they have bad music. We have the fans that support it. They use things to make them stand out, and they backed it up with their talent. So, you know, I saw a lot of artists up here before I came out today. You know, you gotta have a way to stand out. You gotta have a way to stand out, you know? So I don't agree with using things that aren't like natural to you. I mean, contacts aren't necessarily natural, but it's something that it's an outward representation of how they feel on the inside. So they're using the contacts because they feel like they're different from everybody else. So that's something they truly feel, it represents them. So if you got something that's that for you, whether it's a big hat, I don't give a shit. If you got bars and you can spit and you can stay for a long time, that talent's gonna support it. So you gotta stand out. That's how I feel about it.
That's the big thing that we look for at DX. Interesting is really important. You're making an impression. There is a room full of MCs here. I just moved from Brooklyn. You could throw a rock, hit a rapper in Brooklyn right now. So interesting helps get you in the door. Your talent will keep you there. So sensationalism versus, you know, before, you know, people weren't, you know, putting out sex tapes, and now they putting out sex tapes and they selling mixtapes. That doesn't equate to longevity, and I think that all depends on what your end goal is. If your goal is to go sell gold teeth, maybe might be a good hustle for you to put out a sex tape and call yourself a rapper, because now you got some investment to go do what you want to do. That might be a good strategy. If you just want to be an MC, then you got to be an MC. You have to take it seriously, and in that sense, whatever you do, whatever clothes you wear, whatever you do on the side won't matter at all, because you're dope, and you've got people who just fuck with you because you're dope.
Yeah, I think it comes down to a very important question a lot of times. You want to be famous, or do you want to be successful? And unfortunately, I think there's more and more people that just want to be famous, because in this day and time with the internet, you might be famous tomorrow for something you did that's outrageous. 2 weeks from now, you're old news because somebody else is doing something that's more spectacular than you are. So, you know, to me, it's all about building a catalog, building longevity, building consistency. But talent alone is not enough. You could be the most talented person in the world and stuck in your basement or your apartment somewhere and nobody knows about you. So it's a combination of getting people's attention and being able to establish your brand, your look, your sound, your style, and have some longevity to it to really, you know, stand out, keep people's attention.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everyone up here is that, you know, especially in this world of, you know, social media, everything that you do is an extension of your music. You know, when people relate you with a certain, you know, style or just a certain interest that you're in, you know, if it intertwines with the total package of you as an artist, if it kind of, you know, just bridges all together, it's just another piece of content to relate with your fan base. It's always good to have things that you're totally interested about to relate with your fans. It cannot always just be about just the music, even though we would love it to be just about music and how we grade people as an established or talented artist. But nowadays, people want to know who you are, and they want to relate with you from the inside out. So yeah, I mean, if it's contacts, or if it's a cool hairstyle, or whatever it is that you stay consistent with, that kind of fits under the whole theme of who you are as an artist, then yes, you have to do things that make you stand out, but not to the point where it's totally unrelatable to your fan base.
If you are at a point where creatively the only thing you have that is interesting is how creative you are at sparking controversy, and there's more time and effort put in that direction than on the actual product that people really cared about you for in the beginning, that's bad. That's bad every day of the week. Because it's a sign of, in my opinion, it gets to a sign of desperation to a point, and an extreme lack of focus on the music, on your audience, on what it is that you're really about.
I mean, in the early days, there used to be very few artists, and there used to be a lot of labels. And now it's really switched up where there's a whole lot of artists and not labels to develop them. So I think what you really need to do is get noticed, but make it stick. You know, really have some substance to what you do. I call them speed bumps. Everybody's got a shorter and shorter attention span these days, and you need something to get people to look and notice what you're doing. It's kind of like you're driving down a freeway and there's an accident. Everybody's slowing down to look over there. But so whatever that is, you call it a gimmick or a look or, you know, a bold statement you made, that may get people to stop to take a listen to what you do, but your true talent has got to carry you the rest of the way.
In the stars, baby. In the stars.
Now that we have the internet and we've been empowered, like all of you guys have been empowered to use your voice, because there is a market for people that want to hear something different.
Right now, hip-hop really is what you want it to be. It's not what's popping on the radio, it's what's popping in your iTunes. You know, you have artists that never make it on the radio that make the Forbes list. So what are we really talking about? You know, you can just choose your own adventure. If hip-hop is corny to you right now, it's because you're listening to corny stuff on purpose. And if hip-hop is awesome to you right now, it's because you're listening to awesome stuff on purpose.